I was like, tell me about what's going on with your Nike stock.
Why don't you just cut off his nuts, dude? You just have to transfer to the NW, right?
Yeah. The route's not bad.
Yeah. It's pretty direct. I had to take, it's either
Here we are talking about routes.
You guys like trains?
Our dads will be proud.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Oh, which highway did you take?
Yeah.
Oh, you took the NW, took the Q?
We are literally our fathers.
I'm trying to get him to listen.
I want my dad to listen.
In his algorithm. That's what he watches on YouTube, is just like people talking about directions.
Man, that would be so sick.
Yeah. But yeah, we had our show Motorcycle Horse.
Yes.
At QED yesterday.
Yeah, totally.
And
it was a lot of fun.
Story.
What story?
About what we thought about the name. You did the joke in the beginning.
Yes. So we have, every time we do, like QED will do this thing with
Maybe
comics.
we should explain Motorcycle Horse again too.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do that. We have QED has this thing where they'll have like two comics do like a half hour each. Yeah. And me and Brittany, this is the second time we've done it. And it's great because you don't really get long sets in New York, really.
Yeah.
And we're like, should we name it Worthless Clowns? We have a Worthless Clowns show that we do that's a showcase that are like one-offs every once in a while. And we're like, we should name it Motorcycle Horse.
Yeah.
Which is something that we came up with on the pod because we're both modes of transportation, but we have different vibes.
Yeah, like our energies.
Yeah, our energies. Yeah. Your horse energy.
Like you're like and extreme and cool and powerful. And I am also powerful, I guess.
But flighty.
And I don't know, dimmed down. I don't really mean that. I feel like I forgot why we're Motorcycle Horse, even though I know it's true.
But it's like, yeah, and it's not even like a thing that you can really describe.
It's not a real thing.
It's just vibes. It's straight vibes. Like I'm motorcycle
I'm a
and you're a horse.
You're a motorcycle girl.
Totally. Like I wear a lot of leather jackets.
Yeah.
And you know, another thing.
Yeah.
And so we called the show Motorcycle Horse, all one word.
Yeah.
And we were
Motorcycle Horse.
And we were it's so
for a
stupid.
Comedy show
for
name.
A comedy
it doesn't
show
mean anything to anybody.
And
except our fans who didn't come out.
Yeah, thanks guys. Well, okay, I know for sure we have one fan who lives in New York. His name's Joe. Yeah. And he came out to a bunch of stuff. And we are extremely appreciative. And he didn't come out last night, and that's totally fine.
Yeah.
Our one fan in New York. I am disappointed, but it's fine. Like, I hope you're still listening, and I hope you come out next time, buddy. But so the day of, we're like, how many tickets are sold? And they're like, 4. And we were like, I guess that makes sense. It's just like kind of impossible to produce a show in New York right now because there's so much oversaturation of comedy shows with names that make sense. And
if you're not a comedian and you see this poster and you don't know about shows, it just looks like a poster that says Motorcycle Horse. You don't know what that means. And then there's a picture of 3 girls.
Yes.
Me, Allie, and Ashlyn.
Yeah.
Former guest of the pod. Yes. Friend of the pod. So it just looks like nothing. Like, what is this?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it says more.
It says like a stand-up comedy show, 2 half hours, but
the
name Motorcycle Horse doesn't really draw you in. And it also doesn't make any fucking sense. And so I went on stage last night and I told the story of when we were like, the show was like kind of starting and I look back at the door and there's a woman standing there and she has a leather jacket on and a like red handkerchief on her head looking like, what's the guy's name from Poison who was on Rock of Love?
Yeah.
It's not Bret Hart. I said Bret Hart last night, but that's a wrestler. And
yes.
It's Bret.
I know who you're talking about.
Do you know who it is, Connor?
No clue.
Rock of Love.
The guy on Rock of Love.
Oh.
Brett.
Michaels?
Brett Michaels.
Yeah, Brett Michaels.
Yes. Thank you so much.
That's what the lady looked like.
She was dressed like Brett Michaels. And then I was like, oh, cool, we got another person coming in. And then she left without buying a ticket and without seeing the show. And so I went up last night and I was like, so a lady walked up and I pointed at her and I was like, Brittany, she came for the Motorcycle Horse. But then then she left immediately after. And I'm like, maybe we should change the show name to something that makes some sense.
Man, it would have been so funny if another lady walked in after her and was just holding like one of those horse whips.
Yeah, totally.
Where the horses?
She was dressed like a jockey. Yeah. And they were best friends.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that would be so cool. They would get
and
it.
And they came to tell us to stop our show.
Yeah.
Like they're just worried about like copyright stuff.
Yeah. They're like, we actually have a business called Motorcycle Horse where you can ride a motorcycle and a horse at the same time.
And then they link up and they skip out together.
Yeah, they come with their lawyer to send us a cease and desist.
Yeah. And they dress the parts that they always dress like that, but also they showed up just to make it more like this
clear.
Is real.
Yeah, totally. So, but despite the small turnout, we had a bunch of friends there. We had 4 audience members, which we were so happy about.
They were great though.
And they were, but the audience members that we did have were fucking awesome and we're so there for it. Yeah. And that was great.
And that's so important when you're doing 30 minutes.
Oh my God.
You're doing a long set and like people are like, I feel trapped here.
Dude, if those people were not excited to be there, I would have killed myself on stage doing 30 minutes. I would have shot myself in front of all of my friends.
Yeah.
Because it is just terrible.
It's rough.
Yeah. But I had a lot of fun at the show last night.
I had a ton of fun.
You
crushed.
It was great. What are you fucking laughing about, Connor?
Laughing back there.
Just patting each other on each other's backs.
But
we're
here's
being
the thing.
nice to each other.
Sometimes we watch each other on stage and we're like, that was a tough one, buddy.
Yes.
But last night it truly was super fun, and both of us had a lot of fun. And I could tell from the back that you were having fun, and you were doing really well. So
you too. We'll do more of this after the pod.
Yeah,
we'll save the rest.
Totally. Yeah.
Welcome to Worthless Clowns.
Oh yeah,
we got there.
Hell yeah, brother.
It's a podcast about how stupid we all are. I'm Brittany Cardwell, Brittany Cardwell on Instagram,
and I'm Allie O'Neill. You can find me on Instagram at It's Allie O'Neill. Follow the Instagram for the pod, Worthless Clowns. Follow the YouTube channel. Do all this stuff.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends about it. If you want to.
Send in your stories.
Yes.
And guess what? We're going to be reading off some people's stories today. Yeah, so who emailed us. So if you're one of those people, listen all the way through.
Totally. If you emailed us in the last 6 months with a story and we completely ignored it, then we're going to read those stories on the pod.
And we did ignore it for 6 months.
Totally. And I'm sorry about that.
But we saw all of them at once. And
we're like, it's
pretty exciting.
A lot of them are kind of short. And so we're going to read them all at once.
Yeah.
You know, so you're welcome or whatever. Yeah. Also, I'm exhausted because last night we had that show. My friend Odea showed up.
Yeah.
Whom I love.
Yeah.
And also Dave was there, and he did a set as well, and he did well, and it was fun.
He's got a new Diddy joke.
I know.
Nice.
Amazing.
I gotta get a Diddy joke.
Also, can I just say,
I used to love Diddy so much as a kid. Oh yeah, Puff Daddy and the Family. That was like, we had that CD.
Man, it is weird that
censored. And I would listen to it while I went to sleep.
It's also, oh my God. That's why you're mentally ill now and brain damaged.
I liked All About the Benjamins. You know the song?
Of course I do.
So good.
It's also so funny that it feels weird that it's now called Puff Daddy in the Family.
Yeah.
Since he's like raping kids or whatever, allegedly.
Yeah.
Don't need his lawyers coming for us.
I still need to catch up on the whole story. I just know like the highlights.
Totally. The 1,000 bottles of baby oil that they confiscated. Yeah. Dude, I found a TikTok of a guy being like, the program Blender where you can like make stuff in 3D on a computer.
Oh yeah.
He was like, I had to like visualize this, so I made 1,000 bottles of baby oil on Blender so we could all like see it. Oh my God. It was so cool.
That's funny.
But man, is it just on brand with Dave to be like, yeah, I actually have met that guy before.
And the story was he was pretending to saw his face?
Yeah, for a skit on Funny or Die or whatever, or College Humor, I think. God.
Wild.
But anyway, so last night, Odea and Dave were there, and they are the exact same person, and I both love them so much, but they haven't really hung out
together.
They really are, like, in their bones, like, kind of the same person. Yeah. And they, like, the three of us hung out until, like, 2 a.m., and I also didn't have dinner, and I was drinking, so I woke up this morning, threw up, took some Peppy Bismilk, couple of Advil, slept in, hungover all day, tired now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. You got any other updates?
That's basically it. I'm extremely tired.
Well, I'm going to tell you about my lucid dream again.
Oh my God, hell
which
yeah.
I already told you about.
You told me last night, and I can't wait to hear it again.
Okay, so the other night, I haven't had a lucid dream in a long time. And we all know what this is. It's when you're like dreaming, you realize you're in a dream, and sometimes you can control what's going on.
Yeah. Like you know you're dreaming.
Yeah. I hadn't had one in forever. I've probably only had like 4 or 5. I wish I had them more. But so the other night, or I think it was a nap during the day, I had like an hour-long nap, and I was lucid dreaming like the whole time.
Damn.
Like I had a bunch of different dreams, and in every dream, I knew I was in a dream, it felt like.
Wow.
Yeah. And I would wake up. Oh, I was telling you this. Like it was fun. Like it was fine. Like I wasn't worried about it, but I was like, I feel like I might be stuck in these dreams forever.
Yeah, that is what you said
I'm not
yesterday.
worried about it.
Yeah,
but I do feel like I could be dying now.
Yeah. That's what you said to me yesterday, and I was like, that really doesn't sound like you at all. To not be worried about it and be like, I might be dead or stuck in this dream, but I wasn't really worried about it. And I'm like, what is going on? Only in your dreams can you not have anxiety.
I know. It was so weird. It was like I knew I was dreaming and I was just waiting to wake up. But in the dream, even I was like, well, what if that's not true? What if this is reality and this is your life now? Is in a dream.
God, that's so funny.
And I guess I was like, I could be okay with that because I don't know what's going on with me in real life. I don't even know how I died.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if people are sad.
People would be sad if you died, Brittany.
Yeah, but I don't have to see it, you know? Like in my other dreams where I have died. And then, for example, like one time I was in a car accident and then this was probably only the one where I knew that I was dead. I was in a car accident and then I like floated up and I was looking down and I could see everyone concerned.
Yeah.
And then everyone like finding out that I died.
Yeah. And everybody was like, oh my God, I can't believe she's dead. She was so hot.
She's
That'd be
dead.
cool.
She loved horses so much.
Yeah. Man, if I had to write a fucking, what's it called? A eulogy for you, I would only talk about horses and not talk about anything else.
You would just use like
I would name every breed of horse.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, this is what Brittany would want. Appaloosa, Arabian,
Clydesdale, Thoroughbred.
Yeah.
What else do we got? I should know more.
Yeah, I can't name any
think of
other
any
ones.
others right now.
Brown.
Yeah, that's fine with me too. If
Brown,
you forget, just say hooves,
white,
halter,
white horse named Mountain.
Oh, perfect. Have you seen these? No, it's too distracting. We got to get to the dream.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
I was just gonna start talking about horses for a while. And I can't do that.
We got to stop this short right now. Yeah.
So I'm lucid dreaming, right? I keep having these dreams, and then I would wake up. It was like Inception-y kind of. I'd wake up, I thought, and then I'd look around and I'd be like, my desk isn't supposed to be right there. Like I was like, you guys got my room wrong.
Idiot. My own brain.
Yeah.
This is very reminiscent of the time that I mistook Dennis Rodman for Michael Jordan.
Because you knew the truth, but your brain got it wrong
in a dream. And
yeah.
I went up to him. Dennis Rodman was in my dream, like he always is. He's my spirit guide. And Rodzilla, dude. And then I was like, I loved you in Space Jam. And then I was like, no, you idiot. That's a different black guy. But it was like, I was like mixing up 2 black guys who played basketball in my dreams, but I knew it was wrong. It's just a very weird thing for your brain to do to you.
It is weird.
So you were like, you put your desk in the wrong place in your room. I put my desk
in my room in the wrong place. Did that to myself. And then I went, you idiot. That's not where your desk goes.
Yeah. You got that wrong, idiot.
You got that wrong. And then at one point, I was in a lucid dream and I was like, Brittany, when are you going to wake up? And Maggie Lally came into the dream. Another former guest of the pod.
Former guest.
Good friend.
She was also there last night.
Yeah. She comes into the dream and she's all like, you know, like.
Yeah. You do a great impression of Maggie, by the way.
You don't have to do anything. You just have to go,
You just have to be excited and tall.
Yeah. And she comes into the dream and I was like, oh man, Maggie's going to love this when I tell her she's in a lucid dream right now. I was like, she's going to go crazy. And then I was like, guess what, Maggie? Check this out. This is a lucid dream. And then she goes, oh my God. And she reacted just like I instructed her to react in my brain.
Yeah, just like you imagined she would react because it was your imagination.
And I was like, you got that one right.
Yeah. How cool is that, huh? Are you impressed? Did you tell Maggie that?
No, I forgot.
Oh my God, you gotta tell her.
I didn't have time yesterday. I barely got to see her. But I will tell her. She'll love it.
She'll love that. She's gonna respond exactly the way that she responded in the dream when you told her that she was in a lucid dream.
I'm gonna film it.
You should. Dude, you should film it and then post it on the Worthless Clowns page.
Yeah. That'd be fun. So this is my dream update. Dream segment.
Cool. Pretty
Man,
cool
we forgot to look for rat news. We got to get this segment going.
God,
we promised it.
Damn it. Wait, I screenshotted something.
Connor, do you have any rat news?
Yeah, any rat news for the pod, Connor?
One ran into my foot last night.
Rat in the foot.
Rat news.
Rat news.
A rat ran into Connor's
That'll do for
foot.
today.
I thought I screenshotted some rat news.
I also hear them scurrying in my ceiling.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, I don't.
Oh, because you're in the basement.
Sucks.
Oh my God, we heard
So
a rat
bad.
one time when we were recording in there.
That's right.
Remember?
Yeah.
It sounded crazy.
Yeah.
It sounds like they're really scared.
Yeah. You know, remember that one time?
Sorry, I'm just laughing at Connor because Connor's such like a nice, sensitive man. He was like, "It sounds like they're scared up there." That was so sweet. You're like, "I hope they're okay. I hope the rats in my ceiling feel safe."
Yeah. I hope they feel confident up there.
Man, I hope they're all right.
You know? What was I looking at? Man, these notes are just confusing me.
I have an update.
Okay, I have a bunch of updates too. Go for it.
So, I was at my work, and in the kitchen, there's like a coffee machine. There's like an ice machine.
Yeah.
There's a fridge. All the stuff that you have like in an office kitchen. I open up the ice machine because I want to make some iced coffee, and I see this. Okay. Do you notice anything wrong about this picture?
Well, you're not supposed to leave the scooper in the
That's
ice.
right. And do you know what that is?
Restaurant rules.
That's a DOH violation.
That's a DOH violation. Oh, you got to use it. Did you say it at work?
I said it out loud and nobody was...
catchphase.
I said it out loud and nobody was in the kitchen. And then I took that picture.
That's a DOH violation.
Yeah. And I was like, that's a DOH violation. No one.
That's so funny.
And so I took this picture and I was like, Brittany's going to love this.
Man, I haven't heard you say it in a while.
I know. Well, I got all insecure about it since you fucking put me on blast at Maggie's house.
That's right. I think it had to happen.
It had to happen. I had to be humbled.
That's a DOH violation.
Yeah.
It's so funny because you're so serious about it every time.
Yeah, I'm like, that's a DOH violation.
And guys, that's a DOH violation.
I worked in restaurants for 10 years. I know a DOH violation when I see one, all right?
Get it on the bingo card.
That's right. Oh,
Sorry,
God.
I'm coughing. I got some updates. So I was traveling the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, you were traveling for a long time.
Yeah, it went by so fast. It was so busy, but it was very fun.
That's great.
And I was in Phoenix, Milwaukee, and then Chicago.
Crazy.
Phoenix, too hot. My least favorite city in the world. Not going to talk about it very much.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
When my brother...
I have that t-shirt that says Phoenix is boring.
Oh my
which
God.
I had my ex make for me because I hated it so much.
Had you been to Phoenix before that?
How do they sell any merch that's positive? Their like tourist shirts should just say Phoenix is boring because that's the reality.
My brother traveled around the country by himself, camping in his van with his dog. And he called me when he was in Phoenix and told me that he was like, everybody here is fucked up and weird. He was like, it was like going into a town in the Twilight Zone. And like, I was literally driving behind this guy and he was swerving and he was at a stoplight, went through the stoplight, like was going slow, veered off, ran into a pole, opened the door and fell out because he was like on heroin or something.
Oh no.
And my brother was like, I fucking hate Arizona, dude. And I was like, I get it.
I don't like it there.
Yeah.
It was also 112 degrees when I was there.
No.
Crazy. And then the festival I was doing, half their shows were outside.
No. Why?
Yes. I think that maybe that time of year it's normally a little bit more temperate.
Yeah.
And they just were like surprised by it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, how could you plan to have outdoor shows in that weather?
Were they at night?
It was like impossible.
Okay, but
there's no fans. Like most restaurants have fans and mist everywhere, right?
Mist.
There's mist everywhere. You're just walking down the street and you're getting mist shot in your face.
Dude, being in Phoenix is like being a head of lettuce in the grocery aisle.
It is like that.
You're just getting moistened constantly.
Yeah. But they didn't have that at the fest. So like we're outside. There's no air circulating around.
Yeah.
There's no mist. I can't believe the audience was putting up with this.
Well, they live there, so they're like, this is really nice. It's only 106. Is it true what they say about it being a dry heat and it's not as bad?
Yeah.
Okay.
That part, if it was humid, I wouldn't have gone outside at all.
Gotcha.
That would have been impossible.
Okay.
But yeah, because even like 90, 95 in New York, I'm like,
dude,
I can't breathe out here.
85 in New York, I'm losing my mind because it's humid as hell. It's like oppressive.
Yeah, it's bad. But I went to Milwaukee for another fest. And that was really fun.
Great.
What happened? There's stuff that happened there. Oh yeah, I was on a walk at the lake, this lake area. And there's
you said the lake like I know.
Yeah,
the
like
lake.
you know which lake.
You're like, you know the lake.
You know the lake.
You know the lake in Milwaukee.
We meet up.
Yeah.
And there's like this there's like a museum down there. And I saw a bunch of people lined up and I'm like, what's going on? There's like cop cars everywhere. And I'm like, I guess there's some event here. And I walked up and I'm like, what the hell? And then I look and everyone's in MAGA hats. Yeah.
Was it a Trump rally?
There was a Trump rally that was supposed to be there that day. So I'm walking by this big line of MAGA people.
Yeah.
Which in New York, I never see a crowd of Trump supporters.
It's much
it
less
doesn't happen here.
Popular. Also, like Milwaukee, Wisconsin, or Wisconsin in general is a swing state.
Mm-hmm.
So like
makes sense that he would
because
go
of
there.
the Electoral College, there's like a handful of states that the candidates like actually campaign in.
Yeah.
Like New York is always going to be blue.
Yeah.
And, Alabama is always going to be red.
Yeah.
And
I heard he was campaigning here like a month ago.
Yeah.
And
he's like, do you guys like my tower?
Yeah. And everyone's
Remember
like,
that tower
why
I built?
are you putting your efforts in New York? You know what we think.
I know. Well, he's also delusional. So
yeah. So that was kind of weird just to walk up to a group of people that I never see a group of in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently the rally didn't actually happen. And so a bunch of people were mad because they got tickets, but then he canceled it, but nobody knew. And they all showed up and then weren't let in.
Whoa.
And he changed it to like, because there were helicopters and police everywhere. He was there, but he changed it like to a small press conference or something like that.
Damn.
Like last minute. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And then so everyone was just like leaving.
That's how you get people to not vote for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Unless people are like, oh, he's so busy and powerful. Like,
that's true. Yeah. I'm sure that there's people who are mad about it and people being like,
yeah,
I get it. Whatever he needs.
Yeah. I'm going to email him, make sure he had a good night.
Yeah.
They're like just trying to be supportive.
Love you, daddy.
Yeah. Hope everything's okay.
Yeah.
But also like I was trying to walk home and I ended up being behind this like family that was in the line. And they're all wearing MAGA hats. There's like an 8-year-old girl in a MAGA hat. And she's talking to her mom. And she's like, Mom, is Trump gonna something? She's asking all these questions. Like she's super into the election.
Yeah.
And like she follows Trump, because her family follows Trump.
Yeah.
Because she's 8 years old.
Yes. And she has no political affiliation in real life. Because she's like, I think there should be more bouncy balls.
Yeah.
More bouncy balls in the quarter machines.
Yeah.
And quarters should be free.
Yeah. And she's also just, quarters should be free. She's also just like, and I want my parents to love me. So I do what they do.
Also, I've kind of not been exposed to anything else except for Paw Patrol. And I love cops because of Paw Patrol.
So following them for a while, I was like, oh, I forget too. Like, it's so weird to see kids wearing MAGA hats. And then I remembered when I was a kid, my dad, like, it was like the Bush, wasn't it Bush and Kerry?
That was 2004 was Bush and Kerry.
Oh, so it might have been the one before that.
That was Bush and Gore.
Yes, Bush and Gore. So
wow.
That election.
Hold on, I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, you're a political scientist major.
That's right. I'm a political scientist. No, I just like remember that for some reason. Anyway.
Oh, I just realized how I said it wrong. I'm so tired.
Me too. I'm exhausted.
I can't do it.
Hey, Connor, are you impressed that I knew that?
So impressed.
Thanks, buddy.
There we go.
30 years of family.
30
He's wearing that shirt.
How did I not notice that? Because I was so focused on him eating the apple. That's why.
No, he had a sweatshirt on over it.
Plus the apple.
Plus the apple. The apple was distracting. When I walked up to the building, Connor had just walked outside eating an apple, and I was like, that's serial killer behavior.
Yeah.
That's like drinking a glass of milk.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I used to do that. And I used to eat apples all the time.
God,
but
serial killer.
I grew out of
and you used to piss the bed.
I used to piss the bed.
The trifecta.
Yeah.
The triad.
Yeah.
Serial killer triad. Anyway.
So I'm following this family, and I remembered when I was a kid and that the Bush and Gore election was going on. That was the first time that people around me started to talk about stuff like that other than my parents. Mm-hmm. Like, and my dad was like supporting Bush, right?
Yeah.
So I knew about Bush, and I was like, my dad supports Bush. I support Bush.
Yeah.
I also like directions.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Yeah. You were like, I like washers.
Yeah.
I love directions.
I love washers. I love the toilet business.
I like getting presents that are for me for my friends.
Yeah. And so I remember one day I went to lunch. This is in middle school. I'm probably like 11 or something. I go to lunch and I sit down with all my friends. And when you're in middle school, you know, you're like, I don't know if these are, I guess I have friends. I don't know.
Totally.
You're just so nervous all the time. I sit down, everyone's talking
First
about.
of all, I don't think that's really true of every middle schooler, but go ahead. You're like, you know how you're just nervous all the time and you're scared?
And it goes into your adulthood. It never really goes away.
You know what being a human being is like? Being nervous.
Yeah.
That's how I would describe being alive.
Being a nervous horse.
Anyway.
So I sit down and they're all talking about the election and they're like, you know, they're like, Brittany, who you support? And I was like, oh, Bush. I was like, oh, I know. Yeah, Bush.
Bush, of course.
Yeah. And then they all stared at me and they're like, really? What? And they were like getting upset. And that was the first time I was like, oh my God. Like, I was like, oh, immediately I realized, I was like, I have not thought about this myself at all. And I'm just saying what my dad says.
Totally. But also, that's what all those kids were doing too, probably.
Totally. But that was the first time I was like, oh, okay. This is like, I'm very embarrassed that I didn't think through something myself.
Yeah. You're like, I am 12 years old now.
I thought I was just doing the right thing.
I should be making my own decisions.
Yeah.
I should really educate myself.
Yeah. And that's the first time I started paying attention to elections.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. That's pretty cool.
I ignore it a lot, and then I come back, and then I ignore it. You know, I'm just like everybody else.
Oh, God. Should we get into our stories?
Yeah.
I can go first. I got a short one. Happened today. So, I have a very good friend. Mm-hmm. His name is Eli Uden. Mm-hmm. He's a very large man.
Eli's great.
He's great. We should have him on.
He got a dog.
That's what I'm going to talk about.
Oh, my God.
So, basically, a couple of weeks ago, remember? So basically you...
Yes.
So Dave and Eli planned a game night for all of our friends where we're going to go and play video games. And it was you and Dwayne were invited. Sam was invited. Joe Nunnick was invited. There was a few other people I think who were invited and either did or didn't go. The night of, I was having a really hard time and I was crying a lot about, just some stuff. Half an hour.
Shampoo bottle dropped again.
That's right. It scared me and I started crying and then I had to lay down for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
But I was having a hard time, just like a tough mental health day. Not really for any reason. Mm-hmm. And I was like sobbing uncontrollably half an hour before we were supposed to leave. So Dave, who had planned this, was like, we're staying home. And I was like, you can go if you want. And he's like, I'm not going to go.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, thanks, buddy. And so then Dave invited his friends to Eli's house. So a bunch of people who don't really know Eli that well just went to Eli's house
to play video games and eat his chips.
Yeah, because the connecting person wasn't able to go. So that happened on a Friday. So then on Sunday night, me and Dave went to Eli's to play video games. And since it was just me and Dave and him, I brought Betty. So Eli was like, if you bring Betty over, you're going to make me want to get a dog. And so...
Whoa, it was so quick.
So, yeah.
He did it within a week.
Yes. And so literally I bring Betty over.
Because I remember being like, he didn't mention a dog at all. Yes. I feel like it would have come up.
Yeah. What happened is I brought Betty over. She was a sweet little angel. She slept on the couch the entire time. She watched video games. She was very nice. She's a little nervous, but she was brave. And
she's like, that guy's too tall.
I know.
Too tall.
She's like, oh God, he's so big. And so and then the next day we leave, I go home. The next day Eli texts me and he's like, so how much do you think you spend a month on Betty? And I like told him all this stuff. And then literally the next week he was like, I am going to an adoption event to get this dog.
Oh my God.
So he gets the dog. And so he's had that dog for like 2 weeks probably. Her name is Iggy. She's a tiny.
She's so cute.
She's so cute. She's a little black miniature poodle. Yeah. She's so sweet. And so he's texting me a lot about like dog ownership and training and stuff. And I'm like so happy to oblige to get to talk about Betty. And like, you know, it's like, it's nice to have somebody lean on you when you have expertise of dog owning by yourself, you know, in New York. And so earlier today, he was asking me about how many times a day like I take her out. And I'm like, well, there's kind of two camps of what people do to relieve their dogs. There's one where you teach them to signal, or you learn a signal where they're like, oh, I have to go out. Like that's what my brother's dog does. When she has to go outside and pee, she'll go sit by the door. She like hugs the door, butt to the door and stares up, you know? And so then Owen's like, oh, you got to go out to pee. With Betty, I do another strategy, which is she's just on a schedule, right? So I get up, I take her out. She goes out at dinner and then she goes out at night.
Yeah.
When I first got her, I would take her out like 5 times a day. So she didn't even have the opportunity to have a full bladder. Yeah. And then I kind of like whittled it down to 3 over the time that I had her. And I was like explaining this to him. And I was like, well, the reason why I decided that is because like before I had Betty, I had a dog, Otis, with my ex, who was like, I trained him from being a puppy. And that's what you do with puppies is you take them out multiple times a day. Yeah. So they know to like pee outside, and then you kind of whittle it down. Yeah. And then if you want to train them to signal, then you can do that, you know? And I was like, I got to send him pictures of Otis. I hadn't like really thought about or looked at pictures of Otis in a really long time. So I was like sitting there looking through pictures, reminiscing, trying to like find, because I do miss Otis. He's such an angel, but obviously getting Betty made that a lot easier because basically like I got a puppy with my ex by accident. And then when we broke up, he never let me see the dog again. Yeah. And that was really hard for me. And then a year later I got Betty, but I was looking through all these pictures of Otis and I was like trying to figure out what pictures to send Eli, because I was like, well, I got to choose good ones of him. And then also like there's a lot of pictures.
Me and my new dog friend.
Yeah. And there's a lot of pictures of him with my ex. And I'm like, I'm not going to send a picture of my ex to
just this
Eli.
Guy smirking behind him.
Yeah. And being like,
I got to hold this dog when I should be throwing chairs at my girlfriend.
Oh God. Yeah, exactly. But, and so I was like going through these pictures for like a year of Otis's life. And I noticed there was like one of every 5 photos was like pictures of Otis's balls.
Whoa.
Like not close up. Yeah. But like we would, because it was so funny where he was a tiny, cute little puppy and then his balls dropped and he became 80% balls. Like there was no angle at which you could look at him where you couldn't see his balls almost. Yeah. Like
it's the first thing you look at.
Yeah. It's like, and they were so visible and so human looking too.
Oh my God. Because he's a puppy, so there's not a lot of hair on him yet?
Yeah. And also like, I don't know if this is why my ex didn't get him neutered, but my ex was like, he was from Argentina and he was Dominican. So he like had this like muchacho, like Latin American thing about him and didn't want to cut his dog's nuts off apparently. Yeah. And so like, I like went through all these pictures. There were so many fucking photos of this dog's balls.
Oh my God.
And like, we thought it was really funny that his nuts were out because he was our puppy and it wasn't weird for us. Yeah. So I would just like take a picture of Otis's nuts and send it to my ex while he was at work.
And so you just have a bunch of puppy balls.
Yeah, I have so many pictures of this dog's balls on my phone. And I hadn't looked at those pictures in like a year probably or more. And then I'm going through these pictures and it's just all baby dog balls.
Oh my God. That's so funny.
Like, if it was a human, I would be in jail. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's so crazy.
You'd have a lot to explain.
I know, yeah. And so then I sent him a bunch of cute pictures of Otis, and then I sent one picture of Otis's balls to Eli and explained it. And hold on, I'll show you the picture.
Let's see them. We'll post them on the Instagram.
Hell yeah, dude.
Probably they'll block that. No, I don't really think they will.
No, they won't.
No.
Block dog balls. Okay, look.
Whoa! What the hell?
I know.
That's crazier than I thought.
Yeah. They look like
eggs.
Well, that's what nuts look like.
Oh my God.
I know. His balls were out, and like
they look like they're bulging, like they're painful.
So he's look.
Oh my God.
So he's laying. He's laying.
This is so much more like graphic looking than I thought it was going to be.
That's the thing. And so he's laying like on his side, and his butt cheeks are squeezing them out of his ass, essentially. And so like I have so many pictures like that on my phone.
Funny.
God, it's crazy.
Man, I didn't notice his balls when I met him.
Maybe he was too little when you met him to have like big nuts.
Maybe, yeah.
But I don't know.
I remember he was like so excited.
Yeah, he was.
And he kept running up to me and just like.
He kept licking Eitan's leg.
He was licking my knee.
Over and over again and wouldn't stop. And I was like, guys, just ignore it. And then you guys were like,
was it the leg that used to have cancer or the regular one? Eitan used to have cancer on his leg. He's fine.
Yeah. And so he has like a couple of scars on one of his legs.
This is like, this has a history.
Yeah. He's like, wow, this texture's weird. God, that's so funny. Man. Also to call the other one the regular one.
The regular one.
Anyway, that's my story.
Man, that's so funny. That picture's ridiculous.
It's really gross. I'm going to go through and look for more dog ball pictures and then send them to you.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah, I want them in my phone too.
Yeah.
I want to scroll back a year from now and be like, what?
So we both have splaining to do.
Yeah. We're in it together.
Yeah.
We both have too many pictures of dog balls.
Yeah. Anyway, get into your story. Well,
first we have to tell each other like a big secret, and then send me the dog. That's like
blackmail.
Yes.
Like mutually assured destruction.
And then I'll never tell your big secret.
Yeah.
Which is really bad.
My secret is that I love dog balls. Anyway.
Maybe I'll tell a quick story or should we just do the post now? The stories.
I think you can tell a quick story. If you make it
one?
Like 5 minutes, because we got to be out of here by 7:50.
Let me just tell a quick story about Milwaukee.
Okay.
It's not very long, and then I don't have to do Milwaukee updates next time. How about that?
Nice.
How about that? Man,
that's pretty good stuff.
Connor's really back there making the laughing
Connor's really
noises.
making a lot of air noises back there to our stories, and it feels good.
Air noises, yeah, they feel good. All right, so when I was in Milwaukee, I actually told Dwayne this before I went. I was like, oh yeah, I remember last time I went there, like I went on a bunch of dates. Well,
that's right.
I think I only went on 2 dates, but I was like,
but I remember you like were talking to Milwaukee guys like before you got there to like see if you could hook up or whatever because you were single.
Yeah.
I did that too when I went to LA. I was like on LA Tinder, like swiping.
I did it a lot. Whenever I was traveling for shows, I was like, I'm going to go on some dates.
Yeah, let's go get fucked once.
And so I went on a couple dates. I also had just gotten out of a kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So I was like, I got to meet some people.
Yeah,
this will be like nice
you're
for
like,
me.
I got to get railed.
Yeah, that too. And I was telling Dwayne this the other day. I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to Milwaukee. Man, last time I was there, I went on this date with this like really weird dude, who I would have told you about at the time.
Yeah. You definitely did.
Well, I told you about another weird dude too. I went on 2 dates with 2 weird guys.
Yeah, well, that's kind of your dating history.
Yeah. Sorry, I got like remnant sickness. Man, I gotta get in bed. I'm so tired.
Me too. I'm feeling faint. I didn't eat today.
Me too. So I meet up with this Tinder guy. And, before we meet up, we're not talking a lot. He's like, oh, I'm the guy that works at that coffee place. You've been there, right? And because I was working from Milwaukee at the same time.
Yeah.
And I was going to that coffee shop like every day.
Yeah.
But I didn't really recognize him. I was just like, here's some guy,
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's that guy. Okay. So then I'm like, I'm going to go to this jazz club. I told you about the jazz club.
Yes.
Bunch of 80-year-old dudes.
Yep.
Playing jazz 4 hours every Friday and Saturday.
You just can't be young and play jazz, I don't think.
But these guys are very old and they were so into it. It was so much fun. I went 2 nights in a row because I loved it so much.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Because they'd be like, here's Billy Bighorn Buster. And then he'd like start playing the sax. And then there would be another guy who's like, and next, Long John Rivers, or I don't know their names. These don't even sound like jazz names.
On the sax, we got Shibbity Booba Mikey.
I was just about to try and do that too. It was very fun. So I was like, I'm gonna go here, and I told the guy like, I'm gonna be here, so come if you want. We can meet up there and have a drink. And when you meet up with a person you don't know at all, I'm not making decisions till I meet the person about what's going to happen, right? We meet up. It's immediately like very weird, very unusual vibe with this guy.
Okay.
Like, and I do like weird guys.
I know.
But this guy was uncomfortably weird. It wasn't like a weird connection that we had. It was like, can't connect.
It was like uncomfortable weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like he was whispering and I kept being like, I can't hear you. We're in a jazz club. What are you doing?
He's whispering and some guy is like, and next up, we got Big Hat Sam and Little Hat Sam.
And they're connected to the hip somehow.
Yeah.
They're like conjoined twins.
You got a guy with
tiny.
a huge hat and a guy with a little hat and they love each other.
Yeah. So I'm like, this isn't going this well. I don't want to spend more time with this guy. And he seemed to think it was going well, I guess. But then I was like, yeah, I'm going to go home, I think. And he's like, what?
What?
I love when they do that.
Yeah.
They're like, wait, what?
But we were having such a weird time together.
Yeah. I told you about my divorce and I didn't ask you about yourself. Yeah. And I didn't talk loud enough. And you kept asking me questions.
I said something weird about your body.
You asked me so many questions because I didn't talk loud enough. So then I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go home. And he's all like, okay. And then we leave and it's just weird. And then say goodbye, right? Oh, I think he wanted to like walk me home. And I was like, no.
Yeah.
And then we said goodbye. And I get home and he's sending me all these text messages telling me he's like very disappointed and like
God.
He thought something was gonna happen and like I had led him on or something.
Oh my God.
Like he said like physical. Something I don't remember the words.
What a fucking loser, dude.
And he was like, what the hell? Like he was like pissed. And
just jerk off.
Yeah.
Just jerk off.
I told him, I was like, well, I said we could meet for a drink.
Yes.
Yeah. And
he's like, wait, I talked at you really quietly. We're uninteresting, uncomfortable, and now you don't want to fuck me?
Yeah.
What a bitch.
Yeah, and he's like, wait, I was at home before this night, imagining a specific night for myself, and I show up, and it's not that?
What the hell?
What?
I want my money back. God.
So he was all pissed, and then I was back in Milwaukee, and I told Dwayne about that. I was like, I will not be going to that coffee shop again. Yeah. Right? But then someone else who I met in Milwaukee, I met up with him, and I was like, we got coffee during lunch, and he was like, oh, we should meet at this coffee shop. And he said the one.
Oh my God.
And at first I was like, I could tell him I don't want to go there. But then I was like, wait a minute. I don't want to go there, but it'd be fun to go in there and just see what happens. Nothing happened, dude. But he was there.
Whoa.
Yeah, like there's not a big story or anything.
Did he recognize you? Did you guys
I think so.
see each other? Okay.
We saw each other.
Wow.
But I kind of didn't make any kind of acknowledgement.
Totally. Yeah.
And I sort of acted like I may or may not have remembered.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that was basically it. And then we were like, should we go back in there and like try and make a scene?
Oh my God, that's so funny.
A lot of fun, yeah. But yeah, that guy sucked.
Yeah, that's such a loser thing to do.
I know. I wish there was more of a story to the second part where it's like,
I wish that he would have like done something
and
crazy.
And then he threw eggs at me.
And then he caught me with a big butterfly net and took me home.
And I was like, okay.
You were like, I guess I gotta go now. Anyway, bye, friend.
All right. Let's get into instead of doing the post, we're gonna read some emails from some listeners.
Yeah. We should. Never mind. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Do them in whatever order you'd like.
Yeah. I'm just going mostly in the order we have them here.
Okay, cool.
This is related to a recent episode that we had where I talked about being scammed.
Yes. And we asked people to send in their scam stories, and we have one
scam story.
One sentence scam story.
Sentence.
Yeah, one scam story is a generous term for what this is, but listen, you send it to us, we'll fucking read it.
You guys imagine the rest of the details. We'll give you the sentence, you write it out.
Yeah.
Write us a script about this scam and we'll read the script.
Yes, totally. Fill in the details.
Yeah. I don't know if they want me to share their names, so I'm going to leave it out.
Yeah, we're just going to leave out names.
Yeah.
In general, I guess.
I lost $50 in college in a Venmo pyramid scheme because my boyfriend at the time said it was a secure investment. But men love saying secure investment.
Men love to think that they know stuff about investments.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You know what investing, like why investing in stuff has gotten so popular? Because it's a way for men to not have a skill at all and like get rich
and have some success.
You know what I mean?
It's just gambling.
Yeah, totally. And like, so they're like, and then they can say like, they're not like,
I'm a guy that presses a slot machine.
Yeah, exactly. They're not like making a product or they're not making art. They're just literally like typing in numbers and shit and being like, I hope it works and I get rich. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just like, I used to have a joke where I would talk about crypto where it's like every guy who got rich from crypto is like that dog that became mayor.
Oh, yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's funny. You should do that joke.
I know I should. But
Dwayne started investing in, well, he has a bunch of investments. It's fun for him, I guess. But he doesn't talk to me about it like this.
Yeah.
Actually, one time, sometimes I accidentally sound sarcastic to him, like in the way that I do to people.
To all the time, to everyone?
I was like, tell me about what's going on with your Nike stock.
Man, why don't you just cut off his nuts, dude? Oh my God.
It's also like the time I went over and he'd been playing video games and then he came out and I was like, so were you in like a big fight? Or
what's going on with your little game? All right, let's read the next one.
All right, scammed. It wasn't a secure investment. All right.
Sorry you lost $50, internet user.
That sucks. So this is something I've noticed before, but it's very funny and I've been meaning to bring it up. So there's another person. They said, I looked you up on Instagram to send you guys a picture of a human wearing a horse head t-shirt and a hedge horse skirt. Which she didn't send a picture of that.
I know. I guess
I got to see that. Send that in.
Yeah, send that in. We're interested.
And they said, because obviously Brittany needed to see it. I do need to see that.
Yes.
When I typed worthless to search for you guys, this is what it says. Instagram just pulls up this automatically. You type in worthless, it says, help is available. If you're someone you know may be struggling, here are the ways to get help. And then it has like hotlines, reach out to a friend, suggestions from professional.
God.
Which I've seen this before, like searching our own account.
I've never seen that, but it's so funny that people are like, you know what? I really like this podcast. I'm going to follow them on Instagram. And then they're like,
get help.
Here's the suicide hotline.
That's so funny.
It's so funny that it's like, you like this podcast? Please don't kill yourself.
They're like, then you mean this.
Yeah. Oh, God.
It'll lead you to this.
Yeah.
You're not there yet, but you're going to want to write these hotline numbers down.
So funny.
All right. And we got 2 stories.
Yeah. Which are actual stories, like
stories.
longer ones. Yeah.
So the first one, hello, worthless clowns.
Hey.
Hello. All the dildo talk on your last episode, this is a while back too, reminded me of this dumb story. One time when I was at work, my puppy got into my closet and found a bag of sex toys on the floor. Uh-oh. Because they look like dog toys.
They do look like dog toys.
Oh, yeah. We must have said that in the app, too.
Totally. And also there's dog toys that look like sex toys as well.
Yeah.
Like, I have, like, toys for Betty. I have this, like, long squeaker thing that has, like, and it's, like, red and, like, ribbed and stuff. My puppy got out of my closet and found a bag of sex toys on the floor. He picked out a butt plug and started chewing on it. He jumped into dogs love to eat shit.
Yeah, they do.
So that makes sense. Not saying that you have a shitty ass.
No,
sorry.
but there's something in there.
There's remnants. I'm sure there's remnants. Don't go into Poop's house.
Remnants, word of the day.
Word of the day. Oh, man.
Word of the day segment.
I wish we had a drop for that. It was like word of the day.
Yeah.
Like they have on radio shows.
We should get those.
We absolutely. I've been saying this forever.
About that for a year and a half.
I know. Anyway.
He jumped onto my bed and continued chewing, leaving little chunks of silicone all over my blanket.
Damn.
When he took it out to the living room, that was very bad. Because my dad lived with me at the time. When I got home from work, my chewed up butt plug was sitting on the kitchen table. As I went to grab it, my dad said, "What is that?" I said, "It's nothing," and I took it to my room.
Oh no.
I don't know if your dad knew what that was, especially if it's chewed up. It's unrecognizable.
Yeah, also like
it's probably already hard to understand what it is without context.
Totally, yeah. Like I've seen like posts on like Reddit and stuff where people go to like a Goodwill or like a secondhand store and they find like a butt plug in like housewares or something because somebody saw it and didn't know what it was. And they were like, I guess it's a decoration. Because sometimes they have like little gems on them and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
sometimes they're just like cute little baubles.
Yeah. And they're like, I guess it's like a paperweight.
I'm going to put this on top of my TV.
Yeah. It's so funny. They're like, maybe it's a top. Yeah. Maybe it's a top for a decanter.
Yeah. Love the pod. Okay, bye.
Thank you. Thanks for writing in.
Thank you. All right, last story. My 24-year-old son called me at 1 a.m. to pick him up from the bar.
I love this one, by the way. Sorry. I've read this story maybe 4 times, and it is like the way it's written is like unintelligible almost. Thank you so much for writing in, and thank you so much for writing it this way.
Well, yeah,
because I love it.
A lot of them you'll see soon. A lot of it is because it's like fast written notes about an ongoing experience.
Yeah, totally.
Which I also love because I'm always writing notes. I'm like, I got to remember this, and I'll be like trying to write the words of what's happening to try and tell on the pod later.
Yes,
usually,
totally.
My 24-year-old son called me at. Oh, we got listeners with sons.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, parents. Give it up.
Parents, what's up?
What's up? You don't want to do anything we do. Not that they would, but we don't. Okay, I don't have anything to say about that. Cut. When I met him, he told me I had to get the hell out of there because my high school English teacher was at the bar. Oh, that would be weird to run. Did you ever run into a teacher like outside of school when you were like, it's like 10 years later?
I remember like everyone, not like 10 years later, but I remember every once in a while when I was in school, I'd run into a teacher and it felt really weird.
Yeah, me too. It was only during school though. I guess because I moved away.
It kind of feels similar to like when you see somebody you like are coworkers with outside, like you run into them.
It almost feels like you're not allowed.
Yeah. And I'm like, bye.
Yeah. See you later. I gotta go do my homework.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just leaving to go study and work after hours.
I hear my son yelling at someone on his cell at 1:30 a.m. because his room is right next to mine. When I ask later that morning why he was yelling, he says, "My buddy made out with our English teacher and finger blasted her." He so comfortably said finger blasted right to his mom.
Also, to talk about your son finger blasting like a much older woman, by the way, I love.
Well, this is her son's friend.
Son's friend. Gotcha. Man. I love the word finger blasting.
Finger blast.
Oh, so good.
My son was funny enough to take notes while having the 1:30 a.m. conversation with his buddy, who was also 24 years old. I think she's putting that in there to be like, not in high school.
Yeah.
Like we don't have to report this.
Totally.
Or anything. Oh, wow. There's even a timestamp on the notes. Did you see that?
Yeah.
1:26 a.m. 0126.
So good.
Buddy calls. Oh, he wrote the top. He wrote a title for it. The title's Buddy Calls. Teacher gave him her panties and he fingered her. Fucking disgusting. Is he writing the notes while his friend is telling him this?
I have no idea.
He didn't close the deal. Thank God.
I don't know. Finger blasting is closing some sort of deal.
I think once it's in there, that's one deal closed.
Yeah. Always be
There's a
closing.
few steps in this deal.
Yeah.
He didn't close the deal. Thank God. She wouldn't let him call her by her first name.
She was like, call me Mrs. Smith
Call
or
me
whatever.
Mrs. Paddington.
Okay, that's gross.
Yeah.
That is so gross.
Kept saying, you're my student.
Ew.
Yeah, this is
man. This is taking a turn.
We'll report it. The only information we have though is 0126 a.m.
Yeah.
Buddy calls. First thing she said was he got hot after high school. She kept asking which teachers were hotter than her.
Oh God, this is creepy.
Man. She asked if she was hot while pregnant.
Oh my God, I'm so glad we ran into each other.
What were his answers?
I know. I gotta know what he
answers.
said. Dude, also it's like
to keep it like feeling sexual, how do you respond to
He's like,
was I hot when pregnant?
Yeah, not as hot as you are right now though.
Yeah. And that's subjectively true to most people.
Yeah, totally.
Love the podcast. Enjoy how you two feed off each other and laugh like hell.
Aw, thanks, dude.
Oh, okay. So it's a dad. I was imagining a mom.
I assumed it was a dad.
Oh, I don't know why I assumed mom. And I was like, you're saying finger blast to your mom?
Man, incredible story. Also,
thank you guys so much for sending those in.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Sending them on in.
If you want to have your stupid story read on the pod 4 months after you send it, you can email us at worthlessclownspod@gmail.com.
And send us some rat news. Maybe we'll actually get it started.
Totally. If you guys have rat news, we would love to hear it.
Wait, I do have rat news.
Oh, hell
Let's do a quick rat news and we're done. I know we're running over.
Rat news.
This is our rat news for the day. I have told you about this. Dwayne, my boyfriend, will be walking down the streets of New York.
Oh, yes.
And there's rats everywhere. You're walking down the street, you're surprised by it. There's going between trash bags.
Garbage on the street.
Yeah. And Dwayne, what he does when he walks up to a rat, he starts stomping as loud as he can.
Or like when he's going past garbage that potentially has rats in it.
That might have rats in it. He starts stomping way before he gets there to warn them. He's like, scatter now. If you're going to scatter,
here I come.
Here's your chance.
Fee, fi, fo, fum.
Exactly.
Dwayne is coming, so run.
And it looks so funny because you don't know what's going to happen. He doesn't do it every time. He does it when he gets nervous, I guess, that there might be a rat. So then he just starts stomping and looks like real big.
Yeah.
One time I'm trying to talk to him about something and we're walking down the street and he starts doing it and I only see it in my periphery. And the way it looks to me is like he's having a stroke. It just looked like his body was moving in a way that was like out of control.
You're like, are you okay? And he's like, oh.